Good morning. This virtual public hearing conducted by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power and Energy Utilities and the Arts is called to order. It is 9 a.m. Notice of the hearing was disseminated to all local media outlets on August 30th of 2021, with the second notice provided on September 5th of 2021. Notice of the hearing was also made known on the Guam Legislature's website. This morning, the committee will hear testimony on the reappointment of Ms. Siska Hutapea to serve as a member of the Board of Directors of the Guam Economic Development Authority. Before we proceed with hearing testimonies, I'd like to provide the panel participants with some general rules of conduct for this virtual public hearing. All participants must abide by the rules of conduct and quality assurance standards, including the chair will invite individuals who have signed up to testify. Individuals testifying shall first be recognized by the chair before speaking and shall state their name, title, and organization for record purposes. Please ensure that you are unmuted and that you are speaking clearly into your microphone. For group settings where more than one individual is present, please state your name before providing comment. From among the panel of senators, each member will be allowed to pose one question to an individual testifying for one round and be provided another round if necessary. Questions and testimony shall be confined to the substance or nature of the agenda. Personal inference to the character or motive of any senator or any individual testifying is not permitted. Any violations of this rule of conduct will result in removal from the meeting room by the host. I'd like to welcome my colleagues who've joined me this morning: Senator Chris Duenas, Senator Tony Ada, Senator Joanne Brown, and Senator Tello Taitagui. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. And we'll now proceed with discussions on the reappointment of Ms. Siska Hutapea. And I will begin first by calling upon those who have signed in to testify, beginning with Laura Nelson Cepeda. I do see it says Laura's name here, but if you can turn on your camera and microphone, please, if you are ready to provide testimony.
Hutapea, good morning. Thank you, Senator Clynton. I am here to provide testimony in favor of Siska. I just wanted to thank you as well as the rest of the senators here today for allowing us this opportunity to testify on behalf of Siska. So I am Laura Nelson Cepeda. I am the president of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, and I am here today to provide testimony in favor of Siska Hutapea's confirmation for the Guam Economic Development Authority Board of Directors. Siska is a seasoned professional, successful businesswoman, community leader, and a dedicated mother of 5. Her company, Cornerstone Valuation, is a trusted source for Guam real estate market statistics. She is a founding member of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce and continues to sit on numerous community boards that drive progress for our island. Siska's 20+ years of experience and expertise will continue to serve as a vital component as our government and our community navigate through the reopening of our island and this military buildup. Her vision to explore untapped avenues for Guam provides hope for new opportunities. I have had the opportunity myself to participate in stakeholder meetings with Gita, and Siska has sat on them with me, and her insight, and she has provided valuable input and also encourages healthy discussions with a lot of us in the room. So during this time and during the pandemic, her resilience and promise in the agency of our island's future is utmost importance to her. If you know Siska, you can attest to her passion to empower others and to find solutions for a better economy for everyone. There is no doubt in Siska's brilliance, dedication, and service to our community, as it serves as a testament to her character. A hardworking mother and woman with integrity and passion for sustainable practices should be highly considered for this appointment. As we push forward for growth and preservation of the future of our island, I am confident that Siska is a community leader and will do amazing on this board. The Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce proudly supports Siska's appointment and by our MAGA Haga and the confirmation of 36 Guam legislature. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony this morning. I do see Melanie Mendiola, Gita. Are you online? If you're online, please turn on your camera and your mic, unmute your microphone. Hi, Mel. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, go ahead and start.
Yes, please.
All right, great. Hutapea Senator Ridgell and members of the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities and the Arts, and thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony supporting Director Siska Hutapea's reappointment to the Board of Directors of the Guam Economic Development Authority. Director Hutapea has been an extremely valuable member of the GITA board, and we appreciate Governor Leon Guerrero reappointing her for an additional term. Her inclusion on the board has provided GITA management and staff with unique knowledge and perspective regarding real property development, as well as owning and operating small business in Guam. Additionally, Director Hutapea has taken on the position of GITA board secretary and chairs the GITA Real Property Committee. She also serves as the co-chairperson of the Governor's Economic Diversification Working Group. Director Hutapea's reappointment will ensure that she continues to serve in these critical roles. The confirmation of Director Hutapea's reappointment to the board will ensure that GITA can continue forging forward with working towards strengthening our economy. As you know, GITA plays a leadership role in the government of Guam's COVID-19 economic recovery efforts at the direction of Governor Leon Guerrero. The leadership and experience of our board of directors has been a crucial resource towards the success of these efforts. As the board understands now more than ever, it is crucial that we implement initiatives that diversify and strengthen Guam's economy. It is our collective goal that we create an economic future that is sustainable and serves the best interests of the people of Guam. And we believe that Director Hutapea has been an advocate in all these areas. Thank you again for this opportunity to lend GITA's support for Director Hutapea's reappointment to the GITA board. And we respectfully recommend that Imina 36 na legislatura en Guahan confirm her appointment. Also, on a personal note, I just wanted to add, I've known Director Hutapea for a number of years, and I've come to know her quite well with her position on the board of directors and mine as the administrator of GITA. I think that she's an example she's an example of what professional women in Guam, how they develop their careers. Director Hutapea was an employee who became an entrepreneur, who grew her business. She's experienced a number of personal challenges, and she juggles, just like every other strong woman that I know. She juggles the role of a mother, she juggles the role of a small business owner, as well as, and still finds time to give back in the community, as well as in her role at GITA, and make a real sound contribution. She doesn't just come to board meetings and sit and vote. She really provides valuable insight, and she truly is, she's an exemplary working board member. She's been an example to me, and she's been an example to, I believe, that women everywhere that are growing their careers, most especially on this island. And it's really nice, you know, she's I think there are a few women who are kind of like a fine wine. With age, she gets better, you know, and she's really come into her own. Her business is on fire, and as is the rest of her life. And so we strongly recommend her reappointment, and it's an honor to speak on her behalf. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony this morning. Okay, I don't see anyone else here to testify that's signed up. I do believe some written testimony has been submitted, but if anyone else is here to provide testimony, please chime in at this point. And if not, we will go ahead and allow the nominee now the opportunity to speak. Ms. Hutapea?
Thank you, Senator. Have a day and good morning, Senators, and thank you for your time. I joined the GITA board, and I've, learned the rope and be able to contribute, especially on my expertise on real property. And we are reviewing, all the things that we could do to grow and to expand our economy. And my latest appointment to be the co-chairs along with Joe Cruz and Frank Campillo on the economic diversification is really one of the culmination of what I could contribute to this island. Because I'm also on the board of Chambers of Commerce, so I know the business perspective, and I also on the board of director of GIDA, and try to bridge, the gap between practical solution and policy. So I'm learning, and I am really, what should I say? I am really honored to be nominated again, and I would do my best as I would always do. I will try to give my best to become this director in GIDA. So if you have any question that you would like to ask me, I'd be more than happy to answer.
All right, thank you. At this point, unless there's anyone else that's here to provide testimony, I will go ahead and call upon my colleagues and allow them the opportunity to ask questions or make any comments with regards to this appointment. Beginning with Senator Minority Leader Chris Duenas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to everyone. Good morning, Siska. I've known you for many, many years, and I don't question your integrity, and I don't question your acumen and what you will continue to bring to the board. I want to mention something. I know that you are currently working and endeavoring on the issue of economic diversification, but recently I was visited along with a number of other members of the legislature by a group that is extremely concerned about their future in terms of optional tours and tourism. And so while we're talking about expanding and while we're talking about looking at other opportunities, we have a situation on our hands, I believe, that could be dire for the future with regard to making sure that when tourism does become active again and reignited, we're going to have to probably try to do something to sustain those businesses who have put their heart, their soul, and their life into what they do and have done on Guam over 4 decades, most of them in tourism. So my question, Siska, is this on the radar of GIDA? And is there any intentions to, continue to further these discussions and perhaps urge the governor to use some of the resources available through the ARP to help shore up these businesses that we're going to need when tourism returns?
Thank you, Senator. That's a great question. When the economic diversification working group was formed, we specifically concentrate on the area that is not already an economic pillar in Guam. So tourism obviously is the one of our main economy pillars of our economy. And we understand that GVB along with GIDA are working diligently on that one, but this economic diversification committee is especially exploring ideas of what other sector in the or industry that we can develop to support what's already our main economy, which is like tourism. So GVB is there, GIDA is helping. That's why we didn't put tourism in the economic diversification, because we already have other agencies that are specifically working towards it. And the purpose of the economic diversification by its name is to diversify the economy so we could provide more high-paying jobs. It's like one of the sector is in Silicon Village. More high-paying jobs for the graduates of VOG and GCC that is going to come abundantly on Guam. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
It does, Siska, but I just want to let you know, I believe the legislature is going to become more active in this area. And I would hope that GIDA could also be equally as nimble to understand that these represent over 60 businesses that have supported tourism over the last 5 to 6 decades, some of them. And I think it's critical that we make sure that these businesses have the resources that they need. A lot of them cannot, leverage or mortgage anymore, because tourism industry right now is something that is not something that banks or other financial institutions are going to support going forward, because the risk is so high. So I just hope that, as a member, I know that as a business leader, you understand the need to be nimble and to adjust. And so I hope as the legislature continues to get involved in this, that you're right, GVB, GITA, and other partners are aware that we may need to do something to help these businesses be sustained in the coming months and maybe even a year, so that when tourism does return, we have optional tours. The hotels sell themselves, the beach sells itself, but if you get out of Tuman, you got to have something to do other than to go to GPO or Micronesia Mall. So I'm putting out that prayer to you to please consider that, and you certainly do have my support, Siska. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator, and noted on your comment. And I believe we have a small business grant coming out where this organization can apply. I believe it's $20 million. GITA is going to roll out another small business grant, and Mel can attest to it. So yeah, but noted, Senator Chris Dueñas.
Thank you, Senator Dueñas. Mel, did you have something you could add towards that comment, the concerns raised by Senator Dueñas?
Yes, the 66 or so businesses represented by Dave Tidinko did make their way over to GITA and speak with us about the challenges that they're facing. And we do believe that the Small Business Pandemic Grant, in addition to GITA's loan programs, will provide helpful or will provide useful. We continue to monitor the situation. Our last grant benefited over 2,000 businesses. So we do recognize that these 66 are especially hurt during as a result of the pandemic. And so this is something that we're monitoring. We're also giving the governor updates and forging the way ahead. It really becomes a matter of finding the resources to be able to help those that were hurt the most. So we're confident that our grant is going to help many and the majority. So now it's really about carving out something that is helpful to those ones that are most vulnerable. And so that's something that we are actively working on, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. Senator Tony Atta.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Director Hutapea. Yeah, I've known Siska for many years. Our children went to school together, and it's always nice to see you. Siska, you mentioned about the economic diversification. So where are we at with that, and what industries are we looking at to attract to Guam, and how are we bringing them in, knowing that, or having them feel that Guam is the destination that they would like to build their business or start something from here to branch out?
Thank you, Senator Tony Atta. So we have a 12 industry that is in this economic diversification working group. Of course, some industry are more ahead than the other, but it includes, ship repair, safe haven, port safe haven. It includes agriculture and aquaculture, Silicon Village, and many others, and construction. So when we first met, we identified, if we are going to invite these businesses to come to Guam, what infrastructure do we need to fix? And it kept coming towards like permitting process. And so the permitting process, as far as like business license, construction permit, building permit, occupancy permit, it could take a while to just get a building permit or a business license. So we've identified that, and we've been working. And of course, the governor already have like a special task force to deal with this permitting. At one point, we have this idea to make GIDA a concierge. So if anyone wants to invest in Guam, they feel the ease of process, because we need to move, and this have been worked on, the making permitting, applying for licenses easy, and use technology as much as possible. So we do already have that, and I know Deputy Administrator Joanne Camacho is involved also on this one. So that's the basic, very basic things to encourage people to invest in Guam. We're revamping GIDA website to be able, so that it can be a one-stop place for people who wants to start businesses. And each committee have met on this 11-12 industries. We've met, and right now, and we met with the governor almost every month. And it's a work in progress. And it doesn't, some have been fruitful. For example, the Safe Haven project, it's been fruitful. We've had, various countries, ships that ports in Guam, and we've help them, but it's a work in progress, and we'll keep it up. We'll keep the work up.
Thank you for that. So we're looking more at the ship industry, is what you're saying. That seems to be the top industry that we like to attract to Guam.
Not necessarily. It's one of it. Like ship repair. We have 2 ship repair company. For example, they identify that to be able to bring all the business, because Asian port is affected heavily by the COVID. They're closed, and they could bring all the ship to be repaired to Guam. And if the 2 company that works on ship repair can join forces together, it will be good. We will have better chance of winning projects. But we also have like even Silicon Village, aquaculture, agriculture, or planning to have like a business plan model for the aquaculture to be able to grow a product that our restaurant can use. So there's a whole bunch of it, and we meet the team leaders meet every month, Senator, and we would like to invite you to come and see our progress, and maybe even give an input that is probably not in our radar. But we met every last Wednesday of the month.
That'd be great. Now I'd like to come by and check out your working group sometime. But
Yeah.
other than that, perhaps I'll just save any other questions I may have for later on in case I do have. But thank you. You have my support, and I look forward to your confirmation moving on to our next session. Thank you, Mr.
Senator.
Chairman. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Senator Ada. Senator Brown, any questions or comments for the nominee?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Certainly thank you to Ms. Siska Hutapea for her desire to continue to serve on the GIDA board. I appreciate you elaborating on what GIDA is currently doing, but I just wanted to get your thoughts. A year and a half ago when we started with this pandemic, we thought perhaps this is something in a few months that would pass and we would get back to some sense of normalcy. And unfortunately, a year and a half later, we're still struggling with this challenge and seeing different versions of this virus that's impacting our community and our economy. And I just wanted to get your thoughts from your standpoint on, I certainly appreciate the programs that GIDA is putting out to help our local businesses, but what are your thoughts if this situation that we're in extends another year or longer? How do you see our economy moving forward, and what do you think in your leadership direction you can bring to GIDA that can help us manage through this time?
Thank you, Senator Brown. Yes, you are absolutely right. When we first get into lockdown on March 16, 2020, I was thinking to myself, oh, how am I going to survive being on lockdown for 2 weeks? That's really my thought. And then I did some survey to businesses on how long they would think this, pandemic will last. And in that survey was in April. So I did some survey, and it specifically relates to real estate, and they think, oh, in 6 months, 6 to 9 months. And then I did another survey in October, and it gets longer. And you're right, here we are 18 months later, we're still in the midst of, pandemic. And of course, like we said, our economy, we rely heavily on military and tourism. And we know the tourism, realistically, even though we want it to come back sooner, realistically, it will probably take another 6 to 18 months before we could even see like the numbers, never mind the 2019 peak number at 1.6 million tourists. It would be a while for us to see the 1 million, tourists to come. So that's really why we go really strong on thinking of this economic diversification. So, sometimes the darkest time in our life is the time for us to think outside the box. We've been relying so much on tourism and military, and we need to diversify it. We need to just not live based on that. We need to have like maybe data center on Guam that can provide, sizable, high-paying jobs for the graduates of GCC and OUG. We need to look at what we can do in the construction industry. The construction industry is really booming right now. Yesterday, I was in a construction site, and this guy used to be an F&B supervisor at a hotel in Guam, and because he got laid off, he switched and he became a painter. And it's really, he has new skill. And I know my good friend, Mary Okada, is ready to do any kind of workshop, boot camp for HVAC technician, boot camp for, and Mary is part of our economic diversification group. And so it is very timely to diversify our economy. And I know we have a lot, 11 to 12 industry that we're looking at, but that's because we need to move, and each of them has team leader that is from private sector and from public agencies, and so we hope to move, and hopefully like 3 or 4 of this industry that we're looking at can become reality, and so we can't always choose, things that happen to us, but we certainly can choose what our attitude is about it. And, I've been on many challenges too. I lost my husband, and 2 years ago, and, I could choose to be moping about it, but that's not going to help my 5 children. And with the same spirit, we could be moping around the tourism that we don't have, but we could be doing something else about it. And I know some hotels are renovating, which shows an optimism that it will come back again. And this is a good time. This slow time is a good time for us to clean our hotel, to renovate it, to clean our operating system, or whatever it is that we need to do to be able to be ready when they come. So I don't know if that is answer your question, Senator Brown.
Well, I certainly appreciate your optimism. I think with all the challenges we're going through, and certainly I know condolences on your husband's passing. Those are life-changing moments that happened, and I appreciate what you're putting forth. I think that gives us more positive things to look forward to. I think we all look for a better future without this virus, and see our economy come back up and our tourism industry, and certainly looking forward to the proposals of diversification that can kind of help balance us so that we're not too dependent on one. And then when something happens like this, you see such devastating impact. And if we didn't have the federal funds that we had coming into Guam, we would really be in a world of hurt. So in that sense, we're fortunate. It's just a question of managing through this time. But I appreciate the insight that you provided. I certainly wish you well on your continued continued service to the community by serving in Gita. And I'm sure we're in good hands. I think to have your leadership and direction will be a positive contribution to continue for our community. So I certainly wish you well in your appointment back to the board. And we look forward to new innovative things to come from Gita. I certainly appreciate your comments this morning. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Brown. Senator Titlegy, questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll make this short. My colleagues asked some very good questions, and you answered them very well, Siska. First and foremost, I want to thank you for actually stepping up and serving the people of Guam once again. How long have you been in Gita now? How long have you been on the board so far?
March 2020.
2020. Okay, so and you're continuing for another 4 years.
Yeah,
correct.
I was filling out the position that was left by Monte Mesa.
I see, I see. Well, thank you so much. I know it's what a time to serve on an area where, you know, this pandemic has hurt our our business and our economy head on, and to try to come up with some diversification in the economy, as well as, you know, to assist, especially to assist our businesses currently who are under such great hardship. I appreciate the work you're doing and helping to provide that. Siska, is there any particular subcommittee or project that you're working on at Gita under your capacity?
Yes, the Real Property Committee. And, you know, I might as well just ask your help on this one. You know, on the Real Property Committee, the challenge is the public law that limits the ground leases only to 5 years on publicly owned land. And I would like, you know, when you have a ground lease that is only 5 years, you know, the leasehold owner won't be able to even borrow money from bank to develop the land. So the 5 year term of ground lease is very limiting, and I don't think we are doing good stewardship to the public land if we don't extend this beyond the 5 years. So, for example, in December of 2019. Times is a little bit different now to remember because of all the pandemic, but I believe it was in December 2019, the legislature there, they extended the public land leases from 25 plus 15 into 40 plus 15 years, so total 55 years. Because if, you know, when you lease a land, it takes 2 to 3 years to, you know, be able to break ground, have permitting, and then develop the land. And by the time you finish, you know, it's already almost the end of the, you know, the end of the term, and you can't like mortgage or get money to develop the land. So, you know, we've been trying to think of how can we be a good stewards of the publicly owned land. How can we have, you know, the land that is, you know, that is commercial highest and best use to be leased, so that we can have money to the agency can have money to complete the survey of all the land. Like CLTC needs to know the inventory of what land they own, and then, you know, be able to, like I said, to be a good steward of the publicly owned land. So I guess that's my public service announcement, Senator.
Well, Siska, I'm glad you brought that up, because in the 35th, the last Guam legislature, I introduced bill number 8-35, and it does exactly that. We did have a public hearing on it, and if you review that, it's bill number 8-35. I did introduce this legislation knowing that, you know, moving forward on certain properties, 5 years is just not enough time in order to grow anything, or even to lease out, especially from Gita, you know, in their perspective. So look at it. If you have an opportunity, it's already written up. If all goes well, we get can get the support, not only from GITA, but other stakeholders, especially the airport. I believe the airport had came and testified on this particular subject matter, the Port Authority of Guam as well. So I'll be happy to work with you on this once you have an opportunity to look at that legislation that I introduced. Unfortunately, it didn't go through. We didn't have enough support, but I think this time around, realizing the importance of it, and of course, Siska, your expertise and providing that solid argument as to why it's desperately needing, I think it should go a lot further now if we look into it. So looking forward to working with you that as well. Again, and my condolences as well. I know you're a hardworking woman, and your children are probably just as amazing as you are. You know, their children are always a reflection of their parents, and your strength is probably getting them through this very difficult time too as well. So, you know, God bless you and the family. And of course, you have my support, Siska. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tyree. I do see Deputy Administrator Joanne Camacho from GITA online. Are you here also to provide some testimony, or are you just here to sit in on the hearing?
I'm just sitting in the hearing. Mel will be the one to provide testimony.
Okay, I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to make sure I afforded you the opportunity if you wanted to. So with that, if there is no one else here to provide testimony, this will conclude our discussion. Siska, I do look forward to working with you, and you do have my support on your nomination. This will conclude our discussion on the appointment of Ms. Hutapea. The committee will continue to accept written statements on today's hearing within 10 business days from today, which may be mailed to my office at 238 Archbishop Flores Street, Suite 906 of the DNA Building in Naganya. You may also send your statements to us at Ridgell at guamlegislature.org. That's spelled CLYNTRIDGELL at guamlegislature.org. Or you can send it by fax to 475-4768. Thank you all for your participation. This virtual public hearing is adjourned. It is 9:37 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.